From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
A stunning turn of events. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump both have COVID-19. The diagnosis coming after the president repeatedly downplayed the impact of the virus on the country. Good afternoon, I'm Nicole Griffin. The president's diagnosis brings a lot of unanswered questions just 1 month before Election Day. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is live in Washington
President
now.
Trump's chief of staff says the president is experiencing mild symptoms. Former Vice President Joe Biden wishing the president a swift recovery. The President of the United States in quarantine today after revealing in a tweet overnight he and First Lady Melania Trump tested positive for COVID-19. President Trump's physician releasing a statement around 1 a.m. saying both were well at this time, without saying if they were experiencing symptoms. The First Lady adding in a tweet later, "We are feeling good." The announcement coming hours after news broke one of President Trump's most trusted aides, Hope Hicks, had tested positive. Mr. Trump reacting last night prior to confirming his positive test results.
I spend a lot of time with Hope, and so does the First Lady, and she's tremendous.
President Trump had traveled with Hicks to the debate in Cleveland Tuesday, and she was seen boarding Marine One without a mask on the way to the president's packed rally in Minnesota Wednesday.
Hello, Duluth. Thank you.
Top aides telling ABC they observed the president not feeling his best after the rally, saying he appeared to be exhausted and fatigued.
The president does have mild symptoms.
Now, more questions than answers about what comes next for the president, who has downplayed the severity of the virus.
It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. It affects virtually nobody.
Trump, at the age of 74 and overweight, has repeatedly said he feels no vulnerability to the virus, even making fun of his Democratic opponent Joe Biden for wearing a mask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
But today, even the most protected man in the world could not be shielded from the virus that has claimed the lives of more than 207,000 Americans. Joe Biden, who was on stage with the president without masks during Tuesday's debate, wishing the president and First Lady a swift recovery on Twitter this morning as we await the results of his own COVID test. With just 32 days until the election and President Trump trailing in the polls, the campaign already canceling rallies, the CDC recommends that anyone who's come into close contact with someone who's tested positive for COVID-19 quarantine for 14 days. In Washington, Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, back to you.
Elizabeth, thank you. And we will have much more on the president's positive COVID-19 test coming up. But first, we want to get to your forecast. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts is standing by. And Kyle, what should people prepare for as they head out here on this Friday?
Well, things are certainly warming up a little bit, but you know, we started off very chilly this morning. Widespread 30s out there. 38 degrees in Indianapolis, our coolest start since back in May. It was 37 degrees this morning in Bloomington. We had a lot of sunshine, but already those clouds are starting to bubble up here. You can see them over Indianapolis as we look from the IMS pagoda there. The difference between today and yesterday, though, I don't think we're going to see those showers to go along with the clouds. We have recovered to 56 in Indianapolis, still holding on to the 40s, though, in Kokomo, and you're almost to 60 degrees in Shelbyville right now at 59. And there you can see, mainly over the northeastern half of the state, that's where we've got that cloud cover right now. And as we go through the afternoon, we'll continue with a mix of sun and clouds out there. Temperature is going to top off right around 60 degrees, and we're into the middle 50s already at 8 o'clock this evening. Your high temperatures, well, we should be in the lower 70s, but instead, especially with some of that cloud cover, I think we'll only make it to the upper 50s around Muncie and Peru at 58, 62 though in Bloomington. We'll talk about some rain chances for the weekend ahead in just a few minutes.
Kyle, thank you. And now that President Trump has been diagnosed with the coronavirus, it's bringing renewed attention on the number of times the president downplayed the seriousness of it since the pandemic began. ABC's Rena Roy takes a closer look.
In an extraordinary turn of events, the president and First Lady's COVID-19 test results have come back positive after the president spent most of this year minimizing the dangers of the virus to the American people. This despite admitting to Washington Post reporter Bob Woodward that he knew the virus was dangerous and potentially deadly.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to
create a panic.
6 months ago, when the CDC urged Americans to wear masks as an effective preventative measure, the president announced he would not be following that guidance from his own scientists.
Well, I just don't want to wear one myself. It's a recommendation. They recommend it.
At the first presidential debate Tuesday, even mocking former Vice President Joe Biden for wearing one.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Same with reporters at briefings.
Take that off, please. You can take it off. How many feet are you away?
During his campaign over the last several months, the president has kept a jam-packed schedule.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Duluth.
Holding many crowded events, many without safety measures like mask wearing and social distancing in place, against the advice of health experts, and at times in violation of local COVID-19 restrictions.
Well, so far, we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference.
However, several people have tested positive after attending his rallies. Thursday afternoon, he also held a closed-door event at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, even after sources say he and his senior staff were aware that top aide Hope Hicks had tested positive for COVID earlier in the day. Though a press secretary tells ABC News Trump did not come within 6 feet of any guest, the governor of New Jersey says contact tracing is now underway. Shortly after the president claimed the worst of the pandemic is behind us in a pre-taped video message at New York's Al Smith's dinner last night.
I just want to say that the end of the pandemic is in sight.
This news could be a wake-up call for those skeptical about the virus, a stark reminder that it can affect anyone, even the President of the United States. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Rena, thank you. The White House says Vice President Mike Pence and his wife Karen have both tested negative for COVID-19. There was obvious concern since the former Indiana governor has been in close contact with the president. Also, those attending the president's meetings and events have rarely been seen wearing masks or practicing social distancing. Pence is scheduled to debate the Democratic vice presidential nominee, Senator Kamala Harris, next Wednesday night. And here in Indiana, COVID-19 numbers showed another increase today. The state health department just released these numbers just moments ago. 1,495 new cases were reported today. That is the highest single-day total since the pandemic began. 13 additional deaths were also reported, giving the state 3,429 deaths. And the positive test rate continues to creep higher. The 7-day average for unique individuals is now 7.5%. As the pandemic drags on, the recovery of jobs that were lost is slowing down. Today, the federal government announced that the national unemployment rate for the month of September fell to 7.9%. That's down from the previous month, but job gains are also slowing. The government says the economy added more than 660,000 jobs last month. That's well below what economists predicted. And only a little more than half the jobs that were lost due to the pandemic have been recovered so far. She helped jumpstart efforts to bring life to downtown Indy, coming up the passing of a woman who decided many years to reviving a key part of the city. Kyle.
And it is Friday, so you might be making those weekend plans. Well, we do have some rain before we get through the weekend. Right now, models not picking up on a whole lot of wet weather expected, but I'll let you know when that could have you taking your plans indoors. You're watching WRTV News at Noon.
New this midday, one person has died in a single vehicle crash on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Metro Police tell us they were called around 8:45 this morning to East 46th Street near North Ritter Avenue. They say a driver had lost control and crashed their car into a tree. The driver was the only person inside the car and died at the scene. There was no immediate word on what caused this crash. A leader who focused on improving downtown Indianapolis for nearly 20 years has suddenly passed away. Downtown Indy Inc. posted on social media that they are shocked and saddened by the passing of Tamara Zahn. Zahn was the founding president of the organization. The post goes on to say her leadership and passion for downtown Indy led to national recognition for urban revitalization, monumental development, and beautification. It did not address how she passed, but it said our community has lost its biggest cheerleader. It's something new for the Speedway, and it's especially welcome in what has been a rough year for racing. Next, a look at how you can have double the fun at IMS this weekend. And here's a live look outside, a beautiful shot here looking over the city. Kyle Mounts will be back with a check of your weekend forecast just ahead. You're watching the news at noon right here on WRTV. Usually May is the month that history is made at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but in the pandemic year of 2020, October is when something that has never happened before will be happening at the track. Our Brad Brown takes a look at this weekend's big IMS doubleheader.
It certainly felt like autumn on Thursday at the Speedway. Fans in the stands for the first time this year, they had a great view of the action. 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson watched too. His view a bit better from the Arrow McLaren SP pit box. What everyone saw was rookies going fast all day. 23-year-old Alex Palou was quickest in the afternoon practice, setting the pace for laps that would be much faster as the day cooled down toward qualifying.
That always helps, but that helps for everybody. It's just more power from the engine, more grip from the downforce, so it's a bit easier to drive for everybody.
And it'll be a rookie on pole for Friday's race. 20-year-old Rinus VeeKay with the day's best lap, just a couple minutes left in qualifying. He earns another front row start for Ed Carpenter Racing, and for Rinus, his first career IndyCar pole.
It's different, it's new for me, and I have to defend 24 guys behind me, so I'm gonna do my ultimate best, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of new stuff, so I think every of the lap is going to be a challenge.
Today's race goes at 3:30. They'll go again on Saturday at 2:30. Qualifying will be in the morning for that one. Sunday will cap the weekend with the GT World Challenge, the Indianapolis 8-hour endurance race, which starts at 10 a.m. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
All right, Brad, thank you. Well, they were interrupted by the rain on Thursday, so this afternoon the Cubs and the Marlins will try again to play Game 2 of their wild card playoff series at Wrigley Field. The Cubs have to win in order to stay alive in the playoffs. You can watch that game starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon here on WRTV. And Kyle, it's pretty chilly outside. I wonder if they're going to be playing in similar conditions there.
Yeah, they're going to have temperatures in the 50s there in Chicago. The good thing is, though, Nicole, they're not going to have to worry about any rain today. So the game should go on. Here at home, you can enjoy some of that fall color, and you can still see it here, although a cloud's in front of the sun. So it's kind of muting that color just a little bit, but pops of fall and the changing leaf color out there on the DePaul University campus, and we are looking at the peak of our fall color for most of central Indiana happening in late October, although once we get north of Peru, a little earlier than that. Of course, it works its way to the north, the earlier that peak is going to happen. Where we've got some of those clouds, showed you earlier, look at what it's doing to temperatures here. We are still in the 40s. Richmond at 47, 49 degrees in Tipton in Peru, while with a little bit of that sunshine, we're at 56 in Indy and already to 60 in Bloomington on the IU campus. This afternoon, partly sunny skies will do it for us. A light northwest breeze, not going to be as gusty as what we had yesterday, and temperatures again only going to settle around 60 degrees. So the clouds will kind of put a lid on that warmth today. And if you're going to be heading to an area high school football game this evening, you might want to take along the blanket. Certainly going to want to take along a jacket or a layer or two here, as we'll have temperatures in the 50s throughout the game. And we'll have that sun setting at 7:25 with mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, where temperatures stay coolest, that's where we'll have the potential for a little bit of patchy frost. Temperatures in the upper 30s. The rest of us, blanket of cloud cover, will hold those numbers in the lower 40s. But these areas to the north, that's where we do have a frost advisory. Goes into effect at midnight, goes through 8 o'clock Saturday morning. It should be fairly patchy out there, but it does stretch from around Monticello through Logansport, Peru, and as we get into Hartford City, again, right on into early Saturday morning. But TrueCast shows quite a bit of cloud cover here for the first half of the weekend. What you don't see is any rainfall in that forecast, and that's why tomorrow is the better outdoor day for you. With partly sunny skies, temperatures will get to around 60 again, so pretty similar to what we've got out there this afternoon. TrueCast, though, as we get into our Sunday, that's where we've got the chance for some showers, and I do think they will be fairly light and scattered here as we go through the day, so not necessarily a washout, but it is going to stay on the cool side with about 1/4 of an inch of rain certainly possible. Here's a look at that 7-day planning forecast, and that's really the only chance for rain on Sunday with that high of 56. We'll dry things out next week, and temperatures do start to moderate a little bit. Should feel better by Tuesday and Wednesday with those highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Nicole?
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, Halloween is just around the corner. For decades, that has been its haunted house time at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. This year is different, of course, but the museum is not letting COVID-19 keep them from scaring up some fun for kids. Our Lauren Casey spoke to the museum's 2 head witches about their new Halloween experience, which kicks off this weekend.
We really had to think outside the box. So we have a great outdoor experience called the Monster Masquerade. It's presented by our sponsor, Old National Bank. And we're really excited. Again, it's going to look a little different, but we think we can bring some Halloween fun to families in the community. It's every Friday night from 6 to 8 p.m. and every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. And you need to buy your tickets in advance on the museum's website. Tomorrow night is our first one. We're so excited. We have a few tickets left, so hurry and get a chance to buy your tickets.
Great. And so families who want to attend this, what can they expect in terms of safety and things that the kids can still do?
Yeah. Go ahead, Abby.
Safety's always been a top priority, and we are really taking guidance from the museum because they are experts at that. So some of the different things, we are going to be having socially distanced activities where we might have like a game of tag, but we're using pool noodles. We have limited capacity, as well as that capacity is actually going to be broken down into smaller groups to rotate through some of the activities as well. And then, of course, don't forget your mask. We encourage you to wear your costume, but be sure to wear a face covering that's going to cover your nose and mouth as well.
Perfect. And we know, as we said, it's been a hard year for kids, and you guys, as the head witches, get to work with kids each fall for Halloween. What are you most looking forward to for them this season?
I think, this year trick-or-treating might look a little different. So we're really excited to give kids an opportunity to pull out those costumes, come have a little fun. They get a goodie bag on their way out with some candy, just kind of trying to bring that Halloween spirit some way for the kids this year, because it's just a different year.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Well, once again, the Monster Masquerade is at the Children's Museum every weekend now through Halloween. It starts tonight and runs every Friday from 6 until 8 p.m. and every Saturday morning from 8 until 10. You can find out more at their website, childrensmuseum.org. More news and one more check of your forecast are next. You're watching the news at noon right here on WRTV. Ivy Tech is helping out if you still need to register to vote. They are hosting a voter registration drive-through event. It is underway now and runs until 6 this evening at the campus on Fall Creek Parkway between Illinois and Capitol. You can also register online right now at indianavoters.in.gov. The deadline to register to vote is Monday, October 5th. WRTV is your source for everything you need to know before November 3rd. Go to our Vote in 2020 digital section. You'll find all you need to know there, including who's on your ballot, where and when you can vote, how early voting works and when it starts, what mailing in your vote looks like, and any other questions you might have this election season. Keep a tab open at WRTV.com/vote in 2020. Kyle.
And it's going to be a cool but nice afternoon at IMS for the Harvest GP today. Temperatures will make their way into the lower 60s as we'll have those mostly cloudy skies around. And as we look ahead to the weekend and your 7-day planning forecast, mostly cloudy tomorrow. 61 will be the high. Only in the middle 50s, though, on Sunday with some scattered showers. And looking ahead to next week, things do start to warm up a little bit as we'll have some sunshine back in the forecast. Temperatures approaching 70 by Tuesday, and we are in the lower 70s. Should feel pretty good middle of the week.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.